All right, we're live. Welcome to the third installment of Shitcoin Talk. We got a lot of stuff to cover, and I can't go on camera because my internet is really bad and it'll cut out. So I'm sorry. You got to look at this beautiful Monero chart right now. Yeah, we got a lot of guests on. If you guys want to start introductions, Noose, you want to go ahead and hit it off?
Sure thing. Noose here, also known as Ant. I'm a crypto demo trader, striving for profitability. Right now I'm up 1,000%. Things are looking good. And, I'm really looking to give it a good go.
You should tag somebody.
No, but I'm This is Noose on Twitter, and I'm here to just talk about shitcoins today.
All right, Bitcoin Dad.
What's up, guys? Bitcoin Dad, trading for 2 years now, altcoins, just doing my thing, doing some trading, doing some staking, hitting up new launches, just trying to get as much Bitcoin as I can.
Get that money.
Yep.
All right, tag someone.
Juggalo.
I'm at Crypto Juggalo, essentially miner at heart. Started back in March 2015. Kind of leveraging off the same goals of how much Bitcoin can I hoard. Hit the mining side of things pretty hard. Stake as well on occasion. Off to Rogue.
Yeah, Crypto Rogue. I've been trading this shit for way too long. And somehow I'm still alive and all my friends are dead. And I mostly stick with altcoins and the occasional blind times 20 at the casino.
Good.
Let's go with Godson.
Hey, this is Godson, aka Satoshi Nakamoto. Well, I started this whole thing in 2008, actually. Most people think it was 2009, but it was actually 2008. And I created the first coin, also known as OneCoin. I put this lady up to, like go talk about it and stuff while I go make my other side project called Bitcoin. That one kind of failed, so, I've been making money on OneCoin ever since then, just, hitting it, getting bitches and stuff, You can follow me on Twitter at Manta_Godson. So here's the thing. I don't really have that many followers because it costs money to follow me. You kind of have to pay money first. So, I'm gonna make my trading group open so everyone can join and you can hear me tell you what to trade and where to send your money. Over to I don't know, Loomdot.
Hello, I'm Loomdart, and you really shouldn't follow me. Shall I elaborate more, or are we good to go?
No, that's good enough.
Do whatever you think is right, man. Anything goes here. It's Shitcoin Talk.
It spreads the message of my account,
Bitcoin. All right. I
No
don't know if anybody can see
no Bitcoin yet.
I'm Toilet at Dumb on Twitter. Just hang out with my bros and trade these shitcoins and try to make a living so I can feed my starving children.
In Africa?
That's what it's all about. It's all about family here. I'm just joking. All right, let's hit it. Let's get into this. There's a huge list of coins everyone wants to talk about. I already kind of named them off. We can just, if anyone wants to throw something out there to start us off, it's fine. I'm looking at Block right now. That thing is going crazy. I was about to hit 100K.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a look.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at Block as well. I can't really screenshot right now because I'm on my phone. But I am looking at it on my laptop, and that thing is going crazy. Kind of sad that I didn't catch my a bag, so it's just watching it. I did trade it a little bit, but yeah, I couldn't catch like a reasonable stuff to hold. So I'm just watching, crying.
That thing made a new all-time high, huh?
Not yet.
Well,
It broke
okay.
100,000 in March, but it's getting up there. Right now
Oh,
we're
I
sitting
didn't.
at 98,000.
Oh, okay.
So, and that last spike up had quite a bit of volume as well. So it's getting.
But you know what? When it comes to a chart like that, I find if you actually exclude the spike up and just do a line, you can pretty much pick the best time to buy the breakout, and that would have been 61,000 sats.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? I'll share this shit. One sec. If I find out how.
Dude, I have to tweet the link out still. All right, I just tweeted it out.
Lagging.
Awful.
I know it.
So let's see.
Oh,
You see? You guys see my screen?
I
Yeah,
guess
hold
no one tagged another coin, so he's kind of rage quit or something.
So check this shit. This is a good setup I like. Is you'll not exactly ignore this spike, but when you go to line, you're gonna default to closing prices,
right.
which kind of separates a little bit of the day trader madness, and then you see pretty much just like one of the best setups I like, or you could just kind of make a line here, and if you buy here at that point, then you have a really probable chance of it actually not too significantly rechasing on you. And if you take a look, that's what happened. So I
Yeah.
wish I saw this earlier. I feel really stupid for not doing it.
I managed to get some, but the books are so thin. Those books are really weird, and it just kind of spikes up like crazy. I managed to get some like 30,000, but not nearly as much as I wanted.
Yeah. So let me stop sharing this.
It's kind of a hard one to
Yeah, and you know what? I guess we can go into talking about that if people want to know, how to play the extremely illiquid shit. Because for every hater there is out there that says, oh, you shouldn't play these illiquid coins, I think that there's a deep part of them that really wishes they knew how, because I don't understand why anyone wouldn't like to risk a little bit of equity and then get an insane multiplier.
Yeah. Yeah, there was someone that suggested that we talked about how to enter illiquid positions and risk management on those positions as well. So that's something we could dive into.
I mean, I think my biggest tip on that is, don't be a fucking bitch. Like, there's people that they won't enter a trade unless they can buy from market and then dump it right back into the buy orders in instant regret. Like they want the only loss of the trade to come from the decline in the coin, which it's fine. It makes sense, but it doesn't 100% make sense for our environment. So just because you can't buy, 5 to 10 bitcoins in one shot from sell and dump it on the market on a 3% decline and only take your 3% loss, doesn't mean that you should exclude it from what you do. Even if you pyramid, 1 to 2 bitcoins at a time, or just accept the fact that, you know what, if I'm gonna take a trade, maybe I shouldn't instantly fucking regret it within the next hour or two.
That's the don't get rich philosophy.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's that's one of my core rules. Is almost all my rules. That every trader has their own rule sets. I dig down deep and I think, is this a bitch move? Am I being a bitch? And if you buy and immediately you want your exit condition to be present, that's being a bitch.
So you're telling all the crypto beginners not to be a bitch, basically.
Absolutely, that's actually one of the biggest rules. Like our volatility is insane, and our liquidity is a fucking illusion at times. So you definitely have to permit yourself those variables. And one of them is don't buy something if you immediately want to sell it the next hour, or if you are, because there are some people that are really fucking good at that. Only choose the top. The most fucking liquid. Don't go from like an ETC to like a fucking BTS. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. So if in a low liquidity position, how do you determine when to get stopped out? Is it guts or glory?
No, you can even do volatility based. So it's like you look at the chart, you see this shit's been having 25% swings for a week. Why the fuck are you gonna cut it at a 20% loss? You know, and you don't have to make your loss the actual loss on your portfolio. It could just be a portion. So you gotta be flexible with your risk reward. So you got to be okay with losing 25%, but really it's only like a 0.5% loss on your portfolio. You know?
Yeah. I
That,
agree.
Right.
that
I was
is
gonna say,
the magic phrase there is just don't go in with too much, and like don't be afraid as well. 25% down is common in crypto. I mean, it goes
It
down.
sounds great to an
you know?
outsider, but it's not.
Yeah, to us it's just normal. It goes down a bit, it goes up a bit, and then yeah, just don't be a bitch, basically.
I love it.
Yeah. You look at any of
And
the
you know
liquid
what?
coins. I mean, look at the block's daily chart. It moves 25, 30% in a day, almost every day on this
and
move
just to
up.
get shot back down
And,
something.
yeah, and to follow up on what New said is, a lot of people that are looking for that safety net, they're looking for those big walls and stuff. Half that shit's a fucking illusion. If anybody watched when FLDC pumped on Thursday, those massive walls just came and go and just vanished. It dropped, 40% in a heartbeat because the bots just started pulling shit. So if you're buying because you see that, you're gonna get fucking murdered.
Yeah, I
if
just
anything,
did it.
If
go
anything,
ahead.
when the buy walls come in, they're for dumping sake. They're for the actual person that's manipulating it, or I mean, yeah, it could be an idiot as well, but for the most part, it's for the manipulator to dump into their own buy walls and cause you to dump in frustration. So you got to be nimble. You got to be understanding of that.
Be vigilant. Yeah,
Yes.
I'm looking at block and I did some price ranges, and yeah, 35%, 18%, just the wicks too. It's not even the body of the candle. So I mean, yeah, the thing, it'll go. It's just, yeah, it's a crazy one.
What's super scary about block is that we've hit an all-time high with 75 BTC volume.
Yeah,
There's 80 BTC of sells to double from here, and it's a pretty low supply coin. It's a pretty low market cap compared to a lot of things. I mean, depending on what kind of a psychopath is in control of most of the supply, it could go really, really far if they wanted it to. In time,
Yeah.
it could just fucking, shit itself hard and go back to 30,000. And they'll sit there and laugh at us for the next 2 months while we bag hold like idiots.
yeah, it's at 103,000 now.
What you're referencing there, you're saying, the maniac and control possibly and whatnot. The fact that you're aware
Oh, new
that
all-time high.
it's not in your full control, that's another thing, about not being a bitch. Like you got to understand that anything can happen, and a big thing that's a part of crypto is that you have no idea what the chart's going to look like in a week or a couple months or the order book. So you have to let that anomaly happen. And one of the best anomalies is you buy in shit conditions. The chart looks like crap. The order book
120,
looks
by
like
the way.
crap.
Guys, but
really?
by the way, block is just going crazy as we speak.
20% since we started talking about it.
Yeah, new all-time high.
Yeah,
Oh shit.
yeah.
Well, that's kind of awkward. But,
You guys are
yeah,
sick.
you got to be okay with buying in today's conditions and hoping for better conditions.
By the way,
Yes,
don't buy now, basically. Like, don't go FOMO block right now. You're stupid if you do
Yeah,
that.
that's a scary place to buy right now.
That is a scary one. Of all the coins, this one I would never. I don't think so. It's too hard. So
Well, I mean, actually, that's another thing too. It's I actually, if I had my orders in place, I would have bought it all a new all-time high.
look at
That's
the
the
books are so
trader I
thin.
am.
There's nothing. There's
You
like
gotta keep it. Yeah, no, that's pretty ridiculous. But yeah, some people are afraid to buy new all-time highs or sell new all-time lows. You can't do that.
Yeah.
The market depth chart is stupid to look at if you've seen it.
Maybe we should talk about another coin before more dumbasses buy into it and then blame us later.
All right, let's move on. Block new all-time. You saw it here on Facebook. Nice. We did it. Okay.
Remember how last show we said we weren't going to pump any coins? Okay.
Yeah, well,
I pulled
it's
the
not up
bots.
to us. There's some dumbasses that are like, it's on this random show with 20 viewers, and they're just using it as a tool.
Yep. Wow. Block new all-time high. You saw it here. All right. Anybody else got another coin pick? I can read from the list, but I'm sure you guys have something you'd like to talk about.
Yeah. Read from the list.
Well, I was going to touch base on Zone Coin because just with
Okay.
the low liquidity talk, I know when I mined it, I had an average of about 700 sats, and after launch, getting on Yobit, it got dumped down to 35. And,
Yeah, that's
it's tough.
This is a new coin launch that launched, I think, just early August or something. Only on Yobit. Zone Coin.
Yeah, Zonecoin is actually an interesting case of like it went under the radar because none of the like Twitter bots picked it up when it launched, so no one really saw it. So it kind of just came out. It's been under the radar, but the dev has been really like strong and like he's been on the case, just putting things out, doing stuff. Like it got accepted into some like auction website, instabuck.com or something like that, and it was good. Like so, for example, how you wouldn't sell at the very bottom, you wouldn't like dump when it dumped to 35 sats because that would be stupid.
Yeah. The market cap
actually,
when it was that low was like not even a whole Bitcoin.
Yeah, it was like 0.86 or something crazy.
Yeah, some really sweet, some guys got in at that position, and they've been up since then. Like I bought in, like right there. So like when it pumped to 3K, I didn't sell, but that now it's down to like half that price, and I'm still okay. I'm not dumping because it moved, I don't know, 20%. I'm like, oh my god, my family is gonna starve tonight.
My kids. Yeah, this one that was very strange how it just kind of trickled down and then dumped at 42 sats, which is like 90% lower than mining costs ever were. Even
That's not strange. That's Yobit.
Yeah, of course.
YOLO.
Somebody wanted to take their girlfriend out to dinner, and they mined some coins, and they did it, and then they went to Taco Bell. That's what happened.
Yeah, and they didn't even care that like all the stuff going on. They didn't even think about the future of the coin, whatever. They just thought, I have some mining equipment. This coin has really good, like a really good price. I'm just gonna mine it and dump, make some money, go get some, I don't know, condoms or something.
Yeah, some of those miners have that mentality. They just mine it and dump it right away. But ultimately, what I was trying to get at is that I was at a 95% loss just from mining at 700 sats, and sometimes you just got to write it out. Went from a 95% loss to being up, 3.
Look at I just did the price range up 6,900% from the low to the high.
Yeah, but your 95% loss isn't on like 10% of your portfolio. So that's another thing I want to stress is that you gotta be okay with taking either fixed risk or either fixed as in finite number or percentage. So for instance, for me, I think Zone I risked I think 1% or a little underneath it. And I don't care if that shit goes to the grave. That's just another trade to me. So.
And I was wondering, do you guys have your own type of setup as to what you will invest in something? Like I know me personally, like hey, new coin launches, I'll kind of max out at X amount of Bitcoin or something with a little more liquidity. Do you guys kind of cap yourself like hey, I'm only going to put this much in a new coin?
Yeah, absolutely.
Depends on the exchange and the coin's history. So on new coins, if you feel like once I think new coins, the biggest thing to know is kind of the miner break even, because that gives you a good feel for what should be a hypothetical bottom. Obviously, look at Zone, it dumped well below that. But that's because somebody was a retard, and it bounced back nicely. So if you can get in low enough I'm willing to risk a bit more if I'm a little late to the party, and we're well above kind of the miner break even, which means they can all just dump everything they have at a profit. I'll risk a little bit less and see if it kind of drops back down and comes back up, which tends to happen quite a bit during the mining phase for a lot of coins. They'll bounce pretty wildly. So if you're a little late to the party, you can kind of stick your toe in the water with a real low amount of equity and then wait to see if it comes back down and then kind of double down on your position and see what happens.
That's what I was going to say. Kind of cap yourself at a certain amount, but then have another stash reserved for some dumps and kind of putting some lower orders down just in case things do get a little messy.
Exactly. You try and figure out an average that you want to basically even out to at the end of the day, and then you play that accordingly.
Yeah, and then you got to stop. That's another thing too. Is it's one thing to add to a loser if that's part of your plan. Like, you just said, Rogue, where you start off and then you plan on adding to that loser. But once you go against that and then you're like, oh, I want to get even more. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? That you've never done that before with any other coin. It doesn't matter the current fundamentals. So you definitely gotta stick to. I don't even want to say your plan, but you gotta stick to your guns.
Right. Yeah, basically, whatever I'm throwing at it, and there's a cap on what it is. So if I buy in early, I'm not going to risk, whatever I'm putting towards the trade completely. I'll go in with a partial buy and look to add on a dump. That partial buy is because fucking, sometimes that shit takes off for no goddamn reason, and you're like,
yeah. Well, that's why I was telling News too. Sometimes
you're like, I'd rather kind of watch that little bit of equity go down and buy in with what I'm willing to risk. And I'm in the same boat as you, News. If it goes to zero, it goes to zero. I'll make up for another trade because I'm not risking 10% on my account on a random fucking coin that launched 2 weeks ago on Yobit.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, exactly. I went ahead and I sampled the zone hash rate. I think it was from some random fucking pool, and I plugged it into Secret's site, the alt.that report, and he only has it for Supernova right now, but I just plugged in the stats manually, and I saw that the break-even was, I think, 650 or something.
Yeah.
So I went ahead, and I think I made an order for 688 or whatever, and I was just like, if it hits, it hits, and that day it was trading at 1400, and it hit, and then I was like, all right, cool. Like, it was really that simple for me, but I kind of forget that some people have no fucking clue what a miner break-even is.
Right.
And,
Not so fast, I feel like, kind of coined it a little bit. Like.
Yeah, no, he was one of the first to, tweet kind of nonchalantly about it. But it has been, and it is always going to be, kind of a secret, the early mining cost. And I'm sure that 688, I'm sure there was somebody that mined at fucking 200 sats or less for his own coin, so fuck that guy, but whatever.
Yeah, I wonder if Juggalo has anything to add to that.
Yeah, I actually really like going through using Alta Reports tool for break-evens. I use that a lot to go through and gauge where I want to point my physical rigs at, just from the standpoint of trying to find out whether it's more viable to buy off market or put my rigs on them themselves. But going from the risk standpoint, I kind of have the same Bitcoin quantity targets in general that I target, and we'll kind of let it run out over time, and once I hit those targets, kind of pull off and see where the coin's sitting, how things are looking, and gauge from there if I want to add or not. Kind of see how the launch unfolds, but I pretty much like to hit anything I can as quick as I can off launch.
Yeah, I'll tweet the link.
Yeah, another thing to look out for is like when a new coin launches and you see like a steady hash rate of like just a lot, just there for like a long time. That's how you know this coin is kind of planned out, as opposed to a new coin that launches and everyone gets on top of it. So I didn't rent hash for Zone Coin because I just watched it and it seemed like the break even was a little too high. Partly because someone else I know was in there just hitting that thing with a lot of hash the whole time. So I just waited for minor dumps, but yeah, the best thing is just look at, miner break even, look at, how much hash rate is going in there. Hash is basically people buying the coin from like, the blockchain,
Yeah, that makes sense. I like that.
I think another thing to emphasize too is from the risk standpoint, at least with everything I mine, I kind of treat it as lottery ticket in the sense of it may take off, it may not, and that's part of where my caps come in, because there's stuff I've mined that never even hit exchange that I have just sitting in wallets waiting, and it's long forgotten at this point.
Yeah, guys, I have something called Super Paper Coin. I literally have a whole wallet of like a huge Super Paper Coin, and that thing didn't even hit like 5, you know, pages on Bitcoin Talk, and I'm just here like, oh man, that was a huge waste. But still,
I think with mining is what you said is, some are never going to go anywhere and others are going to take off. And so if you're going to do it, you got to stick to your guns and mine damn near everything, because you never know which one is going to be the next lottery ticket. You don't know what the next Dubai coin is going to be, for example, that's really going to take off and make up for the dozen shit coins collecting dust in a wallet that are never going to make it to an exchange.
It takes a lot of winter coins to get a crave, right, Donnie?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
I'm always gonna mess with him for that.
yeah, a lot of those new coins, you got to take a gamble on some. You mine 3 or 4 coins. 2 of them could be winners, 2 of them could be losers. You just got to take a gamble on some of them. The risk reward definitely, is there, and the winners definitely outweigh the losers.
The risk reward is always something like 2 to 1 or 3 to 1. So like for every good one, you can like make a loss on like 2 coins that didn't go anywhere. Most of them are not gonna like do well, but because kind of like the early miners take even the failed coins into account, the good ones kind of pay off for the failed ones as well. So even if you just do a little bit of a picking, just pick a few times, don't just mine every single thing, but yeah, pick, Barcoin didn't go anywhere, just let that go. Yeah, so, yeah, 1 billion bar. I actually looked that guy up. He's actually like a real person, like a British TV like personality and stuff. He like goes around saying bar everywhere. So yeah, if you just do a little bit of, just pick sometimes, and it will all pay off. But try not to compete with me when you coin. Like if you see me mining a coin, don't mind.
Leave it. Just leave it alone.
Yeah, leave it alone. Let me finish first.
All right. Let's we've kind of been stalling on mining. It's all good stuff. It's really important, I think, if you want to get into that. But I got a coin list here. If you guys want it, I'm just gonna rattle them off, and you just tell me when to stop. Oh Jesus. Okay, here we go. Library credits, Scenario Amp, Bit Crystals, that might be a good one. Fatcom, Monero, Shadow Cash, Ethereum Classic, New Economy Movement, Coin. Oh Jesus, there's a lot more. I just keep going.
Okay, see what we'll do.
We're here talking about Zone fucking coin.
Yep. We're talking about Zone.
Okay, see what we'll do. We'll talk about groups of coins. So we'll talk about like the anon coins, and then the health coins, that kind of stuff.
Monero and shit, if we want to. I don't know. Whatever you guys have more of an opinion on.
You had an amazing chart of STEEM. You want to share that?
Well, I think that. Let's just get that back up. STEAM.
Just
sing amongst yourselves while this works.
Steaming pile of poop.
Okay, so
Leon Fu tweet that he's buying more now.
Who?
I think
he's the cryptocurrency expert. You don't know him?
Oh yeah. Oh, sorry. You mean the guy who had the guy who had what 20% of his portfolio in one shitcoin? That guy.
Let's not insult Leon Fu.
All right, let's see this chart.
All right, I see nothing but up.
No bricks, baby. No bricks.
I think the thing with Steam is it's a perfect indicator of when like it's the coin's market cap is a ceiling for it. Since I mean, for a coin that does what Steam does, for it to be just the market cap of pretty much 300 million is just that's not a good time to buy. And
Right.
That's not even
What are you
considering
talking about? What are you talking about? It's obviously going to beat Bitcoin. Bitcoin is what, 11 billion? That's space to grow, man.
Yeah.
Why are you searching Cryptcoin? I saw that.
That's top secret. Can't discuss that. Sorry.
Cryptcoin. Yeah, I don't know about Steve, man. That just keeps going.
There's no bottom in sight. I tell you much right now. Look at the chart. It's going to give us a green candle for a day or two, and then it's going to shuttle over people and a whole bunch more red candles until it finds a floor and going into the negatives.
I see some potential bounces, but like, God, that looks fucking awful.
Look at the daily; it does bounce, and then it just shuts itself again, and that's
No, it bounces.
looks like it's about
enough
to
for
do
someone to
that
write an
again.
article about it.
It looks like it's about ready to make one of its little bounces, and then it'll continue its downward pressure.
Yeah, they get someone to write a Steam article, and it bounces, and then it just dumps all over them again.
Right. It needs to legitimately find a bottom and then range sideways, and there's no sign that is going to happen anytime soon.
Nope.
I think just looking at Redcoin, which is a coin that pretty much does a similar thing, but without the paying people thousands of fake dollars, and that's at a $1 million market cap. And like Steam, it has its own forum and everything. And so I just don't see how it can be at a market cap of.
What's the deal with Steam? I'm hearing that you can't withdraw for years. Is that?
It's like a Ponzi. It's
2
essentially
years.
a Ponzi for the most part.
It's
2
basically
years until you can withdraw from the site. I'm not too sure on the details of it, but yeah, 104 weeks. So yeah, don't write anything expecting to get paid tomorrow.
So they want you to write articles, get the platform popular, and then what? Just like not pay you for a long time, I guess. It's like a Ponzi, I suppose.
It's a Ponzi. It is essentially that is kind of the way it's set up to be. You can say you're making all this money, but you can't get your hands on it. It doesn't do you any fucking good. And then
If that money was on the exchanges right now, that chart would be a lot worse than it is right
yes,
now.
it would be a bloodbath compared to what it is now, and it already looks like a giant pile of shit.
Yep.
It's Steam is following in the footsteps of a lot of the other kind of content coins, I guess, with the most notable one being Florin, which is the cornerstone of Alexandria. And I think I'll pull more of these pop up here in the future still. And so it's worth keeping an eye on when people do them, because maybe somebody will do it right. But I don't like the way Steam is set up to do their thing. You look at Flow; it's ranging sideways quite nicely.
Yep.
And it has a solid dev team without shady intentions behind it. So, like I said, these content coins, I guess, if you want to call them anything, there are a couple more others out there besides Steam and Florin.
Yeah, I think if any of them are going to do it right, my bet would probably be on Florin more than any of the other ones, but it's still pretty early to tell.
I'm a real news kind of guy.
Yeah. I get it. Yeah. Yeah, Steam, I don't know about that one. I haven't bought it, and I probably won't.
Now, someone wanted to know about XMR. Like, what the fuck is there to even know?
If you don't know, now you know.
Yeah, that's what.
Hey, nigga.
What are we just putting the chart up just for pain of either missing it or just not knowing when to short it? Like, what if?
Yeah, I don't know. How do you not know what happened? Got added to the drug cartels markets online, and people love drugs, so it has some real use case.
the story with XMR is basically three things. One, Zcash is coming, so an exit pump, plus it got added to a darknet, site or whatever. And then three, it's basically Polo's like coin, right? They can pump this thing to the moon because they own like most of it. You can literally go to CoinMarketCap and just look at how much volume it's doing and anywhere else, or look at the level of on-chain transactions going on, and it's basically zero. So all this stuff is just Polo paying itself basically.
Yeah, it's
Are you implying that Polo is manipulating a coin?
Oh no! Sorry. It's actually Satoshi Nakamoto himself. I mean me. It's me. I came back from the future to come and pump it, so I can exit.
Loom Dark.
Just
making sure that we're not accusing any exchanges of...
No. Exchanges don't pump coins. Come on, this isn't yogurt.
Most honest.
Just making sure. Just clarifying.
Yeah, I can't remember what I was going to say now. It's definitely one of the two. I think Ethereum Classic and Monero had over 100,000 Bitcoin volume on Poloniex in a day. I think those are the only two. I don't even know if regular Ethereum ever hit 100,000.
Oh yeah, it did.
Did it? Okay. So there's three. Yeah, that was crazy. I saw how much volume XMR had. That was pretty insane. Yep, missed it. Oh well.
Yeah, missed it. Not if it go much higher after this. It could. You never know. It's all-time highs are all-time highs until they're not, I guess.
Yeah.
But, like people mentioned, there's some other things coming out, and my understanding was that it was going to be added. I don't think anything concrete has happened with it just yet, so it's a pump on speculation sort of things.
Yeah.
No, it got added.
It got added to the dark market.
Yeah, and someone actually did a $50 transaction with it. And
that's fucking amazing. $50. Jesus.
You're never gonna know who used it. But then also, when something like that happens, when the crypto note technology coin pumps, all of the other clones of it also pump.
Yeah.
So Blueberry did. I think Aeon is a one. Yeah, you can see it.
Aeon did, and okay. So that's the thing with crypto is someone's always pumping something, so they always look for a good reason to do it. So when Monero pumped, all the other rubbish clones did as well. So Blueberry literally had a tweet like, "There is no more, dev for this coin. It's dead. Leave it. Find something else."
There's a thread on Bitcoin Talk. They're gonna revive it now. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh God, it's funny.
That is kind of strange, but it's also easy money. If you see Monero pumping, go and find all of the forks and buy a little bit with some proper risk management. I don't think you can really go wrong there.
Absolutely, I agree. I remember when country coins were all the rage. And, that was kind of when Bittrex first came onto the scene. And once they started pumping, you could literally go buy any shitcoin for any fucking country, and within the next week, they all started going up because dumb reasons.
Orange, pink.
The fucking color coins after black coin. Yeah, black coin, white coin, all that fun shit.
Or if it was a coin that was going to be associated with a country, like Myriad coin, there was an amazing developer named Bryce. And I heard that he jumped out of a airplane, and he landed and he distributed tokens everywhere. And
he was throwing Myriad coins at all the natives there.
Yeah, it was amazing.
I heard that's why the president got impeached, was her association with Bryce and colored coins.
That makes sense.
Bryce, if you're watching this, we love you. Come on the show.
Bring back Razor, please. I still have a bag somewhere.
Yep, Bryce, come on the show. We'll have you on here, definitely. It'll be a good time. Seriously, please help me. All right. Well, so what else you got? All the coins I named off. That was a pretty good rundown of XMR.
Sorry, excuse me. Are you guys reading the comments on the live
No.
stream?
I
Because
don't know how to.
Beamish just asked a question. I mean, I'm not really reading the thing anymore, but I think he asked you guys to talk about. I think he asked News in particular to talk about CLAM. So yeah,
Sure.
there you
Okay.
go.
Yeah, we can
Let
go
me-
on.
I was going to say we
Let
could
me-
talk about the coins that went wild on Thursday, which would have been CLAM, FDLC, GRC, and kind of what that's going to look like. Because some of those, I don't think are completely done yet.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
actually still holding 40% of CLAM. So let me.
Yeah. Okay. Let me get the question. Okay. Yeah. You guys playing Kami in here would appreciate news. Then that's from Brian. Brian Beamish. He's basically like, oh, I think he's the only one watching this thing live. So he's got like 4 comments in here, and like one other guy posted like a comment. But yeah, he's the only guy watching. So
Shout out Brian B.
hello, Beamish.
Thank you for this.
Thank you
Yeah,
for being our
throw up
only
the
fan.
daily chart, your time frame if you can.
The what?
Your CLAM daily on Polo, going back to July
Right here?
of 2015.
Oh yeah, this is pretty close. Hold on.
Yeah, there we go.
I don't know if I'll ever get that lucky again. Do you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Here. Yep, we can see it.
Yeah. Like tons of others sell the bottom, but this one I literally like bought hours before it happened at 105. But it
Yep.
doesn't.
Welcome, by the way.
What's that?
Said you're welcome.
Yeah, no, that was all you. That
Thanks,
was all
Rogue.
you. Like I saw your message at like 3 a.m. and I was like, it's a good time to potentially lose money. So I market bought, and it went up hours later, and it's doing that weird thing that you were referencing, where it's a degree of stable that it should not be for something that went up that high. I mean, right here, 140K. What the fuck's up with that? Like this kind of looks like Gridcoin, right?
Yeah,
So-
yeah. It looks like Gridcoin kind of pumps, but isn't entirely dying just yet. So maybe there's more story here.
This is an insane amount of sideways.
Oh yeah, everyone forgot about CLAM.
Yep.
I mean,
Everyone forgot.
it's fucking 82 days of sideways, and once again we talk about the volatility, and the price range is fucking ridiculous, but at the end of the day, this is still sideways. That's like 128% sideways, but with coins like this popping out the 5-year chart, which is just another way of doing the week,
Yeah.
kind of puts it in perspective. And then I like to do log, so it's just easier to see. And I mean, I lucked out because of Rogue. He mentioned it, and I was like, you know what? I've seen it in my peripheral, and it's time for some fucking friend FOMO. So jump in. And, what I do is, I don't set any sell orders 99% of the time. I'd wait for peaks. So I sold some around I think 180, and then I also sold some around 175. I'm holding on to 40% of the position. Polo, I love their trade analyzer. It makes you feel good about bag holding.
Oh yeah.
It says my break even is like the shit has to tank below like here, and then I start losing money. But whatever. I don't believe in any free bags, so I still have risk on the table. But honestly, it's looking like it could go up more.
Yeah.
So I'm
going to
pretty
say it can, simply based on the fact that we almost had a accumulation range back from early 2016 to, I want to say, May. Then it dumped, and then we had another kind of accumulation range, and we are just now at the bottom of the old range. So I wouldn't be surprised if we raise between and 200, give or take, before making another attempt at a legit breakout. You go back to December of last year, and it was sitting up at 400,000.
Yeah.
and I believe we could very easily get back up there. After that, I mean, that's where, you know, Polo's margin. I don't know when it was added to Polo margin trading. So
like, I don't know. Whenever it started, I think it was one of the coins that just started with it.
Okay, that's interesting. Because if it's had it since its inception, that means that those moves were around when you could margin trade it, which changes things. I thought it might have been added to the margin trading kind of a little bit later.
It might have been. I don't know. I just know that they haven't added anything. They haven't taken away any.
Right. And that's worth kind of digging into if we can figure out kind of when margin trading was enabled on CLAM, because it's possible that, you know, it got added right when it shat itself from an all-time high of 0.014.
Yeah, that's insane.
What I've been looking at lately, and I kind of really simplified a lot of my analysis, is you know, market structure. But everybody does market structure. But my latest form is simple. It's like I want to pick a spot where once it fell, it shit the bed, like you said. So, you know, this is a former spot, and I go by the wicks because that means at one point people wanted the shit and then they didn't. So if we do that, we can see that actually, what is this? This is the beginning of the year, January 9th. The bottom was actually 140K, and now that's where we are. So, you know, we could potentially trying to be rebuilding all this structure. And you know, people throw around the whole market structure, you know, term, and it's kind of abused. But my way of kind of elaborating on it is simple. It's like these are price zones that people are familiar with, that they have a memory of, and if it stays long enough there, they're going to get interested again. It repairs butthurt over time. So, you know, like if we can get all these bag holders to either dump in profit or, you know, enjoy their slight green after so long, then yeah, we can continue.
That's what I was going to say. You know, now's the ideal time to kind of get people to exit on a ×2, possibly a ×3, and then push up for the next leg. You look at a great example of this in action was if you watched the naught pump that happened. They kept on pushing it up, try and get people to exit with, you know, a 2-time or a 3-time, bring it back down, make them dump it still in profit, and then take another big leg up, and literally repeat that over and over again.
Yeah, that was a crazy, and especially because the volume was the biggest that Knot has ever seen at even at like 15,000 satoshi. So I mean, it was like a good 3 times with a ton of volume. Easy
and
for
most
people to
take that and walk away and be very happy.
Yep.
And then
I know that because I did that.
Yes, I did too.
You're mentioning being
going up
taken out
×3, ×4, and then it went ×20.
That's exactly what goes on too. Is, you know, you hear the term shaken out, and it's got this negative connotation because it kind of implies that you're being shaken out at a loss. But no, I think it's actually worse to be shaken out at a gain, and then it goes further. So yeah, that's definitely one of the tactics of the manipulators. You know, they're gonna, you know, do waves and try to get people out at 2x, whether they're a day trader or they just held the bag and they're happy to be in slight profit, or, you know, like you said, 2x to 3x. Those multipliers really don't mean shit in the long term, because when you go from the price range of the bottom, you know, hardly anyone bought here, but whatever, we'll just say for fuck's sakes, this is a 3x, you know, and yeah, so a lot of people got out, but could potentially be out from there. But my God, if it actually completely fucking goes, there's just no need. That's a lot of fucking, you know, multiplier right there. What is that?
Right. Yeah. You know, with like on a coin that pumped randomly, and I don't have any news behind it. Most people be pretty happy with it. So
yeah, and then the news is going to come.
Once the news comes, if it comes, I mean, it's going to go fucking bananas.
Yeah, and there was no news behind the Nautilus coin pump at first, and it went crazy. And then there was some sort of news, and it just went up and down. It
was definitely manipulated by somebody who knew what was happening well before of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then, you know, once again, if we get rid of all the intraday stuff with line chart, the breakout looks even more fantastic if it stays above 14K. because then all you have is then this hurdle right here on the left side, which I don't know. Let's just pick this random spot. It kind of overlaps decently enough, and yeah, if we actually break through 235K, which whatever, it's optimistic, but it's fucking polo, then it can go sky high, you know.
Yeah, I
And if you
agree.
actually look at the depth, I actually don't. Now I remember there's cell walls, or you can't really tell if there's cell walls with the way Coinigy lays it out. It's kind of more of blockages, you know, a bunch of orders that need to be broken through. 230K is pretty prominent there, so it kind of goes in line with my random ass line here, and that's important too. Is what's the path of least resistance, and yeah, 230K, man. That seems to be a long-term goal.
Okay, you guys, let's not do too much on this one coin. That's kind of
Yeah, we can move on. One
yeah.
thing Loomdart said that margin trading began on the 8th of June 2015.
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of good information.
Something.
We're getting close to an hour long, so we can go over like one or two more things, I think, and then we'll call it good.
Yeah. Do you guys want to talk about prospective coins that might move? Like we've been just shitting on coins for the last 1 hour, so if you wanna,
That's what we do, man. That's what we do. If there's, I don't know if you guys have a coin that you think looks good that you maybe don't want to shit on.
Someone direct messaged me and told me to not mention jewels. So
oh yes, me too.
Right. I have to use the bathroom, but yeah, everyone mentioned jewels, the new MMO-based currency.
Wow, look at the chart. This chart is amazing.
Mention it.
Crazy chart.
Okay, full disclosure, I'm not actually in jewels yet. So, yeah, I don't really know what to say about that one.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Not much history. I don't know anything about it hardly, but we mentioned it, so shout out Jules, shout out CryptCoin. Fuck, I don't know. I got nothing going on.
I've been playing Jules. I missed the ICO personally, but from what I understand, the average is about 1650 on the people that were in on the ICO. So
yeah, and it dumped pretty bad last night.
Yeah, it actually 3 times. The last 3 nights, it's got dumped down pretty good. No support. It gets bought up. Support rolls in, and it's happened 3 times now. So could be some kind of trend going on.
I suppose with Jules, you got to wait and see if their development goes anywhere. I know C2 said they were integrating with them in a certain way.
Yeah, I think that's pretty huge considering that that developer's been around for fucking ever, you know?
Yeah.
Garvin.
Coloniacs.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another weird one. So, I mean, but just in general with Jules, man, I think if what they're saying is true, I haven't insanely fact-checked it. They're doing one of the few things that coins hardly do, which is actually bring money into the system from the get-go.
Right.
Because they have an established user base, and apparently their user base buys shit on a recurring basis. So, yeah. So the person that DM'd me, sorry, I'm mentioning it because fuck that.
Because we're on it.
Yeah, send in buy support.
Yeah, send in some support, guys. Let's pump it.
Yeah, whoever's dumping it, please just do it one more time, please. I beg you.
Yeah, dump it one more time and then pump it.
Yeah, but you can't ask for more from an announcement from that, and that's probably why it's doing bad, because crypto doesn't make fucking sense. The developer, he doxed himself, has a nice video explaining the business goals. He talks about how there's, recurring income from the external games he has already. The thread's pretty updated. I think the actual developer went on and made an account separate from the developer account, and he's been responsive. So all of that in crypto totals up to let's dump the shit to the ground,
Yeah, of course. It just makes sense.
Yeah.
That's
if
how
the
you know.
developer was absent, the announcement looked like shit, it brought nothing to the table, I'd be sitting on a 50x probably.
Yeah, let's mine
Yeah,
it.
but that's how you know someone's trying really, really hard to grab as much coins as possible right now.
Yeah.
So I mean, these dumps don't look like someone. People are losing faith and dumping right now. It looks like one guy is trying to get as much as possible before this thing moons.
Maybe that's why he didn't want us to talk about it.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Fucking DM guy, you're the whale.
Yeah. Oh man, we're gonna out him. Just
Right.
kidding. We don't do that. No witch hunts.
No.
Okay.
Alright.
You guys got any other coins you want to talk about?
Anybody here still in Gridcoin after the move this week?
Oh, grid
Yep.
coin.
I am
That's
thinking of
an interesting one to me, because especially compared to CLAM and Folding Coin, which have kind of held up a decent percentage above their starting point of the pump. I mean, Gridcoin just came screaming back to earth very.
Yep, I definitely did. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm still sitting in that as well. That was one that kind of caught me off guard. Just, I think going back to the liquid market standpoint, you never really know when volume will come in, and I mean, seeing a few hundred come in hours, something that hasn't maintained that for quite a while is
Yeah.
pretty eye-opening in a sense for some, and some of the walls being flashed. I mean, there was
big walls. So you said there
double-digit,
was a 40 Bitcoin wall at one point that was just being flashed.
60, 70, if I'm remembering right. And I mean, when you had a few BTC to go down for a few hundred sad moves, like it's pretty surprising how quick some of the support came in and also went, but kind of says something for the illiquid markets. You can't judge it until you know and keep an eye on things.
Yeah, it looks like it's kind of having a hard time getting over 1,200, but there is a ton of volume, So that was a weird day, dude. Thursday, that was every single coin pumped. Really, it was a really hectic few hours there. Good times. Well, I guess if we're done, we could just wrap this thing up and call it a day.
I got nothing else on my radar right now. A lot of the shit I had my eyes on decided to start pumping, so you knock them off the list unless there's some news behind it. So it's kind of back to the books. What I have been noticing is that Polo is just kind of going through their coin list and making shit move, and so it's like it was the reason I called out CLAM the other day was simply because it was one of the handful of coins that hadn't moved dramatically on Polo. And that's where all the volume is right now. Trex has a lot of promising coins, but I just don't see enough BTC being spent there to make them move, which is unfortunate because it's, Polo kind of is I keep 80% of my liquidity on Polo because that's where stuff's going to happen.
Yeah, it sucks.
Trex is too busy trying to beat Yobit, so.
Dude, yeah, they're competing with Yobit now. They got knocked out by Polo. That's for sure.
I was just saying it's kind of weird seeing after the listing on Polo to see not the lack of coins, but not as many coins, and the minimum volume on the lowest coin is like 2 BTC, traded.
Yeah,
so
Trex has multiple coins with $5 traded or something.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was a big thing the other day. We had 20 coins that had over 200 Bitcoin volumes, so that was a pretty big day for altcoins on Polo. But personally, I still like Bittrex. It's just not getting a lot of attention. So a lot of the coins sitting there right now are just kind of hovering, not doing too much. But
especially for the newer coins on Trex, the action that's coming from there is they're hoping for a Polo ad for the most part.
Exactly.
There are some good coins on Trex that have potential, but like I said, it's just that most of the whales, most of the Bitcoin is on Polo, as shown by Thursday. We had 3 coins that had over 1,000 BTC volume in a single day. Just within like 3 hours, those coins went from no volume to 1,000 Bitcoin each.
Yeah, and it's what's also sucks is that if there's a coin that's on Bittrex and on Poloniex, Poloniex will always pump higher, like a lot higher. It seems like maybe 50% higher or something. It's just it's a wild west over there. That's for sure.
So, which
I
coin
agree.
is?
There's a lot of
It's
good coins that are on Bittrex. Maybe we can touch up on that next week and just go through a list. But
Yeah, love to.
obviously, anything on Polo right now is a buy for volume that hasn't pumped yet.
Right.
The list is getting shorter.
It is getting shorter.
Yeah.
It is. There is a few still left, but basically all you're looking at is Bittrex is a whole website of coins waiting for volume. That's pretty much what you're looking at over there.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll definitely touch up on that. Do some Bittrex exclusives next week or something. But I think we've got a pretty good time going on right now. So I guess it's time to close up shop, guys.
Sounds good. It's good to get the show going again.
Oh yeah, it's too long. We'll do it next week. Probably the same day, same time. Do whatever works. So
Sounds good.
cool, guys. Thanks for coming.
All right, fellas.
Cheers.
See you later.
Love
Buy
you.
one coin, please.